Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now this is very interesting point. Let us try to understand this. We see as we look as behavior of people in this world, correct? Any person, if you look at his behavior, body is the same, similar. Bones are there, flesh is there, arteries are there, veins are there. But the behavior is different. Even sometimes we have twins. They're exactly the same body, but their tastes are different, their desires are different. Correct? They're born in this world at the same time, they had the same body, and they have a similar, almost similar experience. But still, the behaviors are different. So what actually is important is the driving force, to see what is the driving force. Most of the people see driving force, unfortunately, as only the body. And everything finally boils down to the body. The scientists will bring down everything back down to the hormones. Everything is happening because of that. But the reality is something different. It is said there are different levels of consciousness. Annamaya, Pranamaya, correct? And then Jnanamaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. So there are certain living, kind of look at this world, just like you have in so many channels. People do Animal Planet or National Geographic. Everything is Annamaya there. Because they only see one living entity is trying to survive by killing another living entity, and even when they extend to human being, they also see it on the same level. Finally, people are just trying to survive in this world, but this is a little better perception when we come to Pranamaya, where we are able to separate the living entity from the body. But then, one sense we are able to understand, that's also sanity, that we are able to understand, correct? It's a big revolution. The Dodda revolution is there. Ido Atma Veda, Deha Veda, correct? First, the people are looking, a simple idea that all living entities are looking for food and they are running around. But a much higher platform is to understand that what is a living entity which is looking for food or which is trying to survive. You separate the living force from the body. That is the first level of sanity in knowledge. And the next level is that you separated living entity from the body, but why are different living entities acting in different ways? For the same situation, people behave in different ways. Correct? Just like sometimes we have in our office, we are working few days. We easily, this person is like this. We can make a judgment. Correct? What is that which is, and it doesn't change easily. It's not that it is not possible to change, but generally it doesn't change. This man is like this. What is that which is crystallized? Is that actually the modes? And the modes are not only the desires, force. We corrected ourselves. It's not only the desire, but there is a force. There is an energy which pushes you. That example is given. There was that personality, Bilu Mangala Thakur. At his home, his father died. And the priest is saying you have to light the fire and do some ceremony. He runs away. He's not interested in it. Imagine such a major event. It will be like, nobody will do that. And on top of it, such a heavy rain is there. He jumps across a river, holds on a dead body, all that. So when people are looking at that, some people have made a nice drama on that. So the people are looking at that, they have to figure out what is wrong with this person. So somebody says he has cultivated wrong desires. To the extent his situation has become abominable now. Correct? So it's like a force. He knows it is wrong. People are asking him, please wait, your father has died, but he can't stay for a second. He has to run somewhere. Correct? So it is not only a desire. We think sometimes Maya is nothing but a wrong. No. The desire with a force. Very powerful it is. It's not just, oh, I thought something wrong. Then again, forget it. Not only thought, not only a desire, the desire as we contemplate on it becomes bigger. Like a classic situation is of Dhritarashtra. His son is completely outside control. Everybody knows it is wrong. In fact, before the war, everybody counseled her. Gandhari said, don't do this. He came and scolded Duryodhana. Everybody scolded him, including Krishna brought so many people to instruct at that moment, so many sages to instruct. Nothing went inside the head of Duryodhana. To the extent he tried to arrest Krishna, and Krishna showed him Vishwarupa. Even that did not convince him. Because he thought, or look at Dhritarashtra's condition. Even that, in fact, Krishna showed him. He said, I am blind, can I see Krishna's Vishwarupa? Krishna gave him mercy. So even though he was blind, he saw Krishna in a Divya form. Many Vishwarupa was shown in the assembly, correct? Even with all that, Dhritarashtra could not scold his son. He could not. He kept following. I know it is wrong. In fact, many times when he had tried to kill the Pandavas by burning their house and all, at that time Krishna had sent an ambassador or something maybe before that. Uddhava, he had come and he had, Akrura had come here also. For sure? Akrura had come. And then he went to the assembly and he scolded the Dhritarashtra. So what are you doing? Is this the kind of behavior? You're trying to kill your own, actually children who are inheritors of the throne. But Dhritarashtra said, I know what I am doing is wrong, but I cannot stop it. Why? The same thing Arjuna also asked in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna, what is it? That we know something is wrong, still we are forced to do it. What makes us do such a behavior? Correct? All of us. So then Krishna says, what is the Krishna's answer? Kama esha krodha esha rajo guna samudvaha mahashano mahabhatma vidhi evam yavairinam. Know it from me. This is your greatest enemy, Kama and Krodha. So now what happens is that living entities in this world, as you see, they are running here and there. They are being dragged by this Kama, Krodha. Just like Duryodhana was dragged by Kama for Draupadi and Krodha for the Pandavas. And whole life he was running around. So similarly, in our condition also, we are dragged here, there, kicked, smashed by the metal energy. And sometimes in illusion, we may think we are God or something, but this is a factual situation. That all of us are completely, sometimes people said, no, I am God. Prabhupada used to laugh because he can see, as an Acharya, as an associate of Lord Chaitanya, he is in a transcendental condition. He can see the condition of the people in this world. And Prabhupada used to say, what kind of independence? Every moment you are being slapped and kicked by metal energy, subtly and grossly. Subtly in the mind and grossly because of so many difficulties you are facing. So even then, you are saying you are independent. Correct? All of us say, I am independent. Sometimes Bhagavad Gita also, Arjuna asks this question to Krishna. Krishna, there are some people who don't follow the Shastra, but by their own imagination, they follow something. Just like so many people are there, they're not bothered about what Shastra says. Recently, it's joke. Remember I took on Karna so many times, there was a reason. Because some TV serial has been promoting him. And it will come to the extent that instead of now people chanting Hare Krishna, they are chanting Hare Karna. They think, no, he was the real hero, not Arjuna and Krishna, and they are demons, So, actually, it is unfortunate in the sense, the reason is, Mayavada bhasha huye sarvanash. What is this? Why? How do you say it's Mayavada? Even slightest, if the position of Krishna is touched, or the position of the great acharyas who are also Sakshad Haritvena, everything we will be ready to compromise, correct? But this thing we should never compromise. Even slightest the position of Krishna is touched as the supreme. That's why what the Shastra says, Yastu Narayana Devam Brahma Rudradi Devate Samatvena Viksheta Sapashandi Bhavet Dhruvam. Even if you compare Brahma and Shiva, in some way you think maybe they are equivalent to Krishna, it becomes a great aparadha actually. Pashandi means he should not be even allowed to enter any ceremony. We cannot see his face. He is a great offender. He has compared Vishnu or Krishna to ordinary devatas. It's a very great offense actually. But unfortunately what happens is that, therefore Prabhupada said, Hinduism is Buddhism today. It's not that Hinduism is bad. If you take Hinduism meaning as Vedic knowledge, it's the greatest religion on earth. But the way it is practiced today is that nobody wants to tell the truth. And then yatomat, tatopat, whatever you do, that is fine. Prabhupada says many times, I made so many enemies in my life. Why? Because anything less than complete surrender to Krishna, I protested against that. And when you take a stand, you'll make enemies. You take a stand, no. All the devatas are nothing but not even fit to be servant. They're not even equivalent to dust of Krishna. Servants are in the Vaikuntha, not here. Material world, these servants are also not like, Prabhupada said there is a great difference. Now try to understand the difference. Great difference between devatas and Vaikuntha-vasis. What is the difference? They are not on the same position. Devatas are appointed, appointment letter is there. Krishna has given them appointment letter. You do post of Ganesha, you do post of Indra. They got all appointment letters, correct? Top devatas, little different condition because they are almost like Vaikuntha residents. Shiva is a Vaikuntha resident anyway, always. In fact, he has a form in which he serves the Lord in Vaikuntha. In this material world, he takes this form. That's a separate issue. So, all the devatas are having some appointment letter from the Lord, but they are not in constant touch with Krishna. They don't have constant personal contact with Krishna. Now, sometimes you see in Bhagavatam, they get darshan. Indra gets once in a while darshan of Vishnu, correct? But not like a Vaikuntha resident. A Vaikuntha resident is having constant darshan of Krishna. That's different. Just like your mother Yashoda. You can't compare anybody in the material world to Mother Yashoda. No. Why? She is constantly playing with Krishna. 24 hours she can see Krishna and she can play with him. Therefore, now you understand Prabhupada says, when an associate or Lord comes from the spiritual world to the material world, even devatas worship him. Maya cannot touch him. He comes in the same position. Now, if such associates of the Lord, or the Lord himself, even slightly their position is compromised or minimized, we should not tolerate that. In the sense, we should immediately protest. It's wrong. It's wrong. Correct? Because that what will happen is that, because they are the ones who can give Krishna bhakti. Krishna can directly give, all the associates can give. If their position is even how will you pray to Krishna? If you think, yeah, sometimes Krishna also does wrong. Yeah, so many people he killed in a chala way. Sometimes he does wrong. When they come to this kind of, see what happens, why is it that people come to this? is that they don't go through basics. Sometimes you all have the problem. People come to argue while Rama did this or Lord Krishna did this. And they directly go to the Leela of the Lord. And as much you try to convince, they are on a material platform. And Krishna's or any activities of the Lord or his Shuddha Bhaktas are on the spiritual platform. So how can you, sitting on the material platform, understand Krishna's activities? Vaishnava Kriya Mudra. What is the shloka? It is said you can never understand the behavior and activities of Krishna or his this eternal associates. You should not even try to understand. You can't understand their activities. Correct? It is beyond our comprehension. What you will understand? Madhvacharya is sitting in Udupi and vanishes. What you will understand? Material, you put your equations and all. How you vanish? Zhik. Correct? That's why he, at the end he just vanished. Similarly, Lord Chaitanya also zhik, vanished. So, what you will understand that activity? You just cannot understand. And as very nicely some Bhanu Maharaj has pointed out, there is a lot of Brahma which is kept in the Leelas of the Lord. Brahma means some kind of a bewilderment. Correct? Queen Kunti also says, no? Your activities of my Lord are very bewildering. What is the word she uses? Keep saying bewildering, bewildering. There are so 3-4 shlokas. She keeps developing on my Lord, your activities are so bewildering. Okay? So Krishna's active, nato natyo dhara yata, in the beginning also is there. So it's very difficult. It's not easy actually. So seemingly, sometimes when you study the life of a great associate of the Lord or the activities of the Lord himself, seemingly they are covered by the material image. So very difficult for you to understand. How will you understand? So this all is actually kept very the Bhagavad Gita, you see there's a 9th chapter is called confidential knowledge, Raja Vidya. And Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says Gohya, Gohyatara, Gohyatamam, confidential, more confidential, most confidential. So this whole mental energy is designed in such a way. You see, confidential knowledge in Bhagavad Gita is that you are not body, you are a spirit soul. Correct? True? It is called confidential. You can understand why. Why? Hundreds of Nobel Prizes, billions of hours, billions of dollars are spent, man, time, money, resources. These are called the resources we have. Still, when people are trying to study either psychology of a human being or they are trying to study the mental energy, they cannot understand behind the soul is there. They are not able to understand. Somehow they feel convinced. We may say, what's a joke it is? How can you say that just a combination of chemicals can have a thing, can decide, can think, have freedom, correct? Can be conscious. We say like that, isn't it? We say like that. And we agree on that. But the scientists are convinced that is a mental energy is active. Because it is a very, very confidential knowledge. Unless you take it from Krishna, unless you follow the process of yoga to realize it, you can never get it. Therefore, Prabhupada used to say, just see the miracle, you got knowledge. Prabhupada said many times, it's a miracle you got this knowledge, you're not body, you're a spirit. It's a miracle you got. So it's not ordinary, it is extraordinary. Actually, it is a miracle to get this knowledge. So now the platform of Bhagavatam and platform of all this Ramayana, Mahabharata is completely different. In fact, after writing all the literatures, particularly Mahabharata, Vedavyasa wrote Mahabharata, you know that Narada scolded him, Jagupsutam, abominable. Hare? You think, we're not saying Mahabharata, that will be great offense to say, but comparatively, Bhagavatam is pure scripture, which gives you love of Krishna. These are all, laden with so many kind of emotions, there are so many kind of fights, there's so many kind of politics, correct? And within that, so many Brahmas. The Brahmas are rather too much. It is very difficult to pick out pure devotion, from that literature. Any one of them. You cannot pick out pure devotion. Correct? You can read it. You cannot keep it down actually. If you pick up the Mahabharata or day after day the fight going on, you cannot keep it down. It is kept so interesting. It's a composition of Vedas are not ordinary. But it is not what is promoted in the, what did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say for Bhagavatam? Amala Purana. It is not Amala Purana. Spotless. Because in the Bhagavatam also there is sometimes description of war here and there, but the main focus remains pure devotion to Krishna. Okay? So these people miss out. They don't take shelter of pure devotees, and they want to pull down. That's a tendency of the people, to pull down all authorities, including the Lord and the great acharyas, authorities on their level. They pull down everything on their level. They think all these people are also like us only. And this becomes, Prabhupada says, therefore Prabhupada says when he preached in the West, people easily took to Krishna consciousness because their mind was not puzzled by so many kind of ideas. It was very simple for them, very easily they took up. So people don't begin with basics, understanding what is not body, what is soul, how soul is related to the Lord, and how the soul can be connected to the Lord. First they have to understand that. It is very clever. You should never get trapped into those arguments. If you get, then there is no end to it. There is no end to that. There is no end. Somewhere and all people will find some moral platform, and they will, true, it is possible. We can do, just like Madhvacharya did Tatpar Nirnaya. He explained all the pastimes which are difficult to understand. Correct? Even on a very common platform, he tried to explain to the common mass of people. But it will be very entangling, because on the lower platform, very difficult to understand the activities of the Lord. So here, therefore, the first thing which is there to understand is that even though we see people are being driven by the mental energy in the form of ignorance, a person becomes mad. In the form of passion, a person becomes so much attracted for sense gratification. Or in the form of goodness, which is the best, a person is neat, clean, but he tries to settle down in the material world. That is he is more intelligent and is free from harassment of the senses. But still, he has not understood that the greatest suffering we are having is separation from Krishna. He has not understood that. Actually, that is the greatest suffering. But somehow he is relieved from material suffering of the mind and body to a large extent. Suppose you live a very pure life. To a large extent, you are relieved from bodily and mental suffering. True? I don't know whether some of our teachers are also like that. Very neat, very clean. You find them in education institutes. Very soft, because that's a Brahminical profession. Some doctors are also like very calm. You find them. But they don't still take to Krishna consciousness. We see so many people, very respectable, very pure in character, and always fresh, bright, healthy. We don't feel them even getting sick. But they have not even an idea about Krishna consciousness. That is also Maya. Because he has to take birth again, and how dangerous it is. There is a story of King Mriga, who was so charitable, so pious, but he has to take a birth as a lizard. This is little in Punya, this world is such, any time mistake will happen. Particularly in Kali Yuga, difficult to find a man who is full Punya. Even if suppose there is a person like that, any time a slightest mistake will bring him a great difficulty. And then unnecessarily, he is suffering birth, old age, disease, death. What is the need for all that? Unnecessarily suffering. But a devotee on the other hand, he is in a different situation. His heart is beating for Krishna. His heart is an intense love of Krishna, in the separation from the Lord. And by associating with that devotee, therefore these books are so special. Prabhupada said these books are used to, very astonishing disciples used to see Prabhupada. One day one servant says, I saw Prabhupada the whole day reading his Bhagavad Gita whenever he stands. So Prabhupada, you are reading your own book? Prabhupada says, yeah, this book is so nice. If anybody reads this Bhagavad Gita, surely he'll go back to Godhead. So another day I saw Prabhupada reading Nectar of Devotion. And he was reading and reading for hours. So Prabhupada, you're reading your own book. This book is so nice. Somebody reads this book, his life is perfect. He will achieve Krishna's lotus feet. So why? Because they said the two things. Number one, Prabhupada said, I never wrote these books. Krishna dictated. Number two, that's associated with the Lord is in a different condition. Even Devatas have to honor it. Second thing is that Prabhupada, whatever he said, he first did it. We sit and say, you should do that, you should do that. Prabhupada first did. He always told his disciple, read these books. He himself used to read. To give a good example to the disciples. Yes, this is what you should be reading. This is what is enough. Many times, some devotees feel, there are so many other books are there. Mahabharata Prabhupada did not translate. Ramayana he did not translate. So many works of Goswamis are there, he did not translate. I have to read all that. There is so much information. Two things for this. Number one, when Prabhupada was departing from the world, the May 20th final conversation, they came to Prabhupada for that. Prabhupada said, yes, you can translate. But then he gave a line. What is the line? He said, it is not ABCD work. It requires realizations. Second point, when Srila Prabhupada was once, what happened? Some devotee told Prabhupada they are reading Chaitanya Bhagavata. There is another literature. Chaitanya Charitamrita is one line. Another literature is Chaitanya Bhagavata, which comes in Bengal. Prabhupada said, who has translated? You should immediately be stopped. Prabhupada said that. And then he continues. He telling that disciple, you had told me that even if I write just one book, you will keep reading that book again and again. Now what you are doing? Because why? One wrong idea. Correct? I told you the Mayavada. One wrong application. Because it is not just philosophy. Immediately it leads to implementation. If you just translating without giving an application, or the better don't do it. Some people are doing I didn't do anything. I just translated to English the work from Bengali. That's okay. But Prabhupada, it's not a theoretical exercise. The point is that Prabhupada, you see in Bhagavad Gita, is guiding, even giving an implementation. Therefore, you should do this. Therefore, in this Krishna conscious movement, this should be done, this should not be done. Now what happens is that without giving an implementation, giving a fresh idea, brings people to confusion. They don't know how to implement it now. Correct? You should not leave the thing halfway. You have to give a full no. And then one more point is that it is said reading too many literatures will create doubts. It is a kind of, one more kind of, where it comes? One more kind of anartha it comes. Manushastra. It creates some kind of, confusion. A person becomes, even in academics it is known. If you read too many things, you get confused. You don't know what to implement. It is better, Prabhupada says, better to read something thoroughly than read 1,000 things in confusion. Correct? Suppose I read thousands of books and I don't know what it means. I don't know how to implement. I don't know what's the implementation of that in my life now. Because it is not just giving some information. Just like you see what Prabhupada does in Bhagavatam. Gives some information and talks about the implementation in our life. And how it will implement solving of dilemmas. See, look, here is an example. You see how many times Chaitanya Charitamrita or Gita or Bhagavatam, Prabhupada said, look, this is how a devotee should be. He is giving an immediate application of that. Now, not having any capacity, no potency, no authorization, you just do some this kind of thing, then what happens? Then you have to go and implement that. Then it leads to that dilemma. Somebody says, no, this way we'll implement, somebody says, this way we'll implement. And then Prabhupada says, instead of reading thousands of books, and not, because there are Brahmas also. It is not easy to. Just like you see in Bhagavatam, there is a moment where when Krishna departed from the world, he left a body similar to his. It is called a Brahma, which Krishna created for atheists. When Mother Sita was kidnapped by Ravana, actually Ravana did not see the real Sita. Correct? You know that. It was sent by Agni Deva and she was with Parvati having Krishna Katha, Rama Katha. Correct? True. So, it is a Brahma. It is explained in some scripture actually what happened, but normal reading it will not be understood to you. Similarly, in Bhagavatam it is there, when Krishna departed from Dwaraka, whole Dwaraka was sent inside the earth. But then 16,100 queens of Krishna were there. And Arjuna was bringing them to safety to which place? They are in Hastinapur. Now they are in Hastinapur, not in Indraprastha, they are in Hastinapur. Arjuna was bringing them to safety. Then what happened on the way? Some Gwalas came, the normal street boys. And in the Mahabharata, Arjuna was, well, basically Arjuna is, there was nobody who could match him actually. Everybody said, if he fights, gone. Particularly under the protection of Krishna. No, we cannot touch him. Bhishma, Drona, all agree. Nobody can fight with him, Arjuna. Alone, Arjuna had practically their army, you can say, was 11 Akshauhini. And within few days, 7 were wiped out by Arjuna. 7. He was fighting like you can't imagine. Akshauhini means, few lakhs of soldiers. Anyway, there are huge amount. So now, when the Gwalas came, Arjuna took his Gandiva. They came to snatch these wives of Krishna. They defeated Arjuna. They beat him and took away the wives of Krishna. So you may say, all the Lakshmis got kidnapped. Immediately Prabhupada writes in the Bhagavatam, this is a Brahma. Then he explains, actually these wives of Krishna, many of them were the Devatas. Devatas, what do you say? Heavenly, they were in a heavenly position where they got opportunity to come in the pastime to become one of the 16,000 wives of Krishna. And then what happened was that once Ashtavakra Muni was walking and laughing, walking. So these girls started laughing at them. So then what happened? Ashtavakra Muni said, okay, you have a benediction to become wives of Krishna, but then one day you will be kidnapped, correct? They kidnapped. And then they went back to their places. But this kind of Brahma is always kept. Wherein, you got it? This is there in the Bhagavatam. So, it is not just translating. Vedic literature is not so ABCD work. Not only you have to translate, you have to solve all these Brahmas. And then you have to get the implementation. So, it's not just an academic exercise. It requires, if you want to solve the Brahmas, you need to have realizations. You have to know the position of the people. Just like you see, take Bhagavad Gita itself now. Continuously the Bhagavad Gita, nobody is getting late, no? Shisha is not. Actually, I remember in Bangalore, we used to have Sunday class, maybe 9 to 10:30, 1.5 hours. And the whole congregation built by that. Evening people come and go, but morning is more, where we can explain and time is. So, you see Bhagavad Gita also. Bhagavad Gita is gradually developing. It is not at the same level. It starts with Karma Yoga, and then Karma Yoga is also, then it develops Nishkam Karma Yoga. It talks about Jnana Yoga. Every platform is higher and higher and higher. That's actually the Bhagavad Gita is flowing. But Srila Prabhupada from the first, even preface, completely takes in the topmost spiritual platform of complete surrender to Krishna and goes on it. Like in the 3rd chapter, Bhagavad Gita talks about Devata worship. Krishna says, yes, you should worship the Devatas. He himself lifted Govardhana and rejected the Devata worship. Correct? Govardhana lifting was to reject the Devata worship. But somebody just read the 3rd chapter, the shloka, and he sees only the Sanskrit. He will think that that is what we are supposed to do. We can do Devata worship, and he will not even read the remaining portion. So Prabhupada knows this kind of people in Kali Yuga. Suppose you are taking Gita class, and I also don't know, I read from the beginning. I think, yes, we also start Devata worship. Then we come to slowly higher chapters. One by one, Krishna keeps lifting and start rejecting what he told previously. What he told previously is rejecting. And going to higher platform. And ultimately he says, Sarvadharman Pariteja. Forget whatever I taught. Mahamekam Sharanam Vraja. Now you completely take my shelter. Correct? Then you will take shelter of Krishna. And if you are studying one shloka daily or one shloka one Sunday, that means you will take shelter of Krishna after so many years. Correct? 700 means after 14 years. So therefore, it is not easy to implement or understand the scriptures even if you know the language. It requires realizations. Therefore, Prabhupada said it requires realizations. Okay? So therefore, we should focus ourselves. In fact, Prabhupada said these books are so detailed. Even one shloka you read, it is not just academic reading. You read one shloka, you read the purport. To understand it, you need one day. For that, even lectures are there. So many shlokas are 10 lectures. You hear all those lectures and then try to understand what is Acharya trying to say. That way, gradually we will develop in understanding. Okay? That is a way. That is the way we develop in understanding, and things will be understood in that way. So here you see very clearly Krishna is saying, correct? You got the reasons now why we should not just access any Vedic literature. There are Brahmas, it's on different levels, and to understand it requires realizations. And practically to give implementation of that in the present context requires deep understanding of the situation. Correct? You see, even the commentary on Nectar of Devotion Srila Prabhupada has given. Prabhupada is extremely careful not to go into the intimate leelas or gopis with Krishna. He has been very, very careful. Why? It requires realizations how to implement. Okay? So for us, things are ready-made and everything is very fine. We should take benefit. And here it is very clear. Even though what is clear that even though in this world we see that the material energy, the rajas, tamas, everything is moving because of that. Okay? Creation, maintenance, dissolution, everything is moving. You see that dissolution is practically very painful. The Tandav Nritya of Lord Shiva is there, and the sun becomes very effulgent. So many things happen, the big detail. But Lord is not affected. You see in the Mahabharata war itself, crores of soldiers died. Prabhupada calculated that 64 crores soldiers died. In fact, generally in the Akshauhini calculation, there is one thing which is, it is just one part. It doesn't talk about so many lakhs of soldiers who are protecting each elephant, who are protecting the wheels of the chariot and all. Actually, it's a huge number. Unlimited numbers are there. Even though all this was happening, Krishna was peaceful. So many people died. Abhimanyu died in the battle. Pandavas were like gone. Just peaceful. Because he is not affected. Correct? Imagine the destruction of the material energy. We feel, does anybody affected? No. Why? Krishna is above this sattva, rajas, tamasa. It's completely beyond this. Sometimes what happens, if death happens in the family, what was God doing? Is completely beyond all this creation, maintenance, destruction. Is always situated on the transcendental platform, and that is the first meditation we should have on Krishna. Krishna is beyond any material influence. He is completely, purely situated on the transcendental platform. And not only Krishna, his associates are also like that. Gauranga Sanghi Gane Nitya Siddha Gauranga. They are also eternally situated in beyond any sangha of the material energy, fully situated in spiritual platform, and they work like that. So this is the first meditation we have got from this shloka. Srila Prabhupada ki